Hi, I'm Dee Jacob, President of the Shoreline Chamber of Commerce in Connecticut. I'm happy you've joined me today for a video from our Business Education series. Each video is designed to provide concise and useful how-tos in only a few minutes. Our subjects will range from business to individual know-hows. Now on to today's presentation.
Good morning. My name is David Minicozzi. I'm an attorney at law, celebrating my 35th year in business. I have an office in Branford, and the big four, I call it, is I practice in personal injury, family, probate, and real estate. But today I'm going to talk about the need for a will as a business owner, and really the need for a will in general. So why have a will? Because if you own assets, if you have any type of assets, business assets, especially if you have a piece of real estate, if you have stocks, if you have inventory, when you pass away, you have to make sure that those assets are going to go to the people that you want them to go to. And a will can help you do that. For example, let me talk about what a will can and can't do. What a will can't do is it cannot pass assets to a person if the asset is already titled in a particular way. So for example, if you've got a piece of real estate that you own with your partner, when you pass away, that real estate is going to go to your partner and not to your spouse or your loved ones. So you have to make sure that the asset is titled correctly. So when you first start up your business and you start buying things, you start acquiring assets, make sure that the assets are titled in such a way that when you pass away, they go to the right person. The right way to do it would be, if you buy a piece of real estate, for example, you want to set it up so that it's, well, not to get into details, but there are ways to set it up so it goes to your spouse instead of to your business partner. A will can help do that in regard to, let's say, for example, the asset is held in your name alone. You buy a building, it's in your name alone. If you don't have a will, then when you pass away, the asset is going to go to what is called your heirs at law. There's a law in the state of Connecticut called the laws of intestacy. So intestate means you don't have a will. If you're testate, you have a will. If you're intestate, you don't have a will. If you're intestate, if you don't have a will and you own the property in your own name, whether it's stocks, real estate, inventory, etc., then when you pass away, those assets are going to go to where the law says they're going to go. And that may be different than where you want it to go. So for example, let's say you don't have a spouse and you don't have kids, but you have siblings. And maybe some of those siblings you don't want to have your assets. If you pass away without a will and those assets are in your name alone, they're going to go to those people. So that right there is a really good reason to have a will, because what a will do is it'll block that. You want to make sure that your will is going to block that law of intestacy and make sure that it's going to go to the people that are in the will that you want to get it, and not to the people where the law says it's going to go. So certain decisions you want to make when you're considering getting a will. Distribution of assets, who's going to get what? So a lot of people don't think about this. When I pass away, do I want my assets to go to my spouse? Do I want some of it go to a charitable organization? Do I want it to go to my children? So those are some considerations you want to make. Do you need a trust? Many people ask me, should I have a trust? The answer is, it depends, like anything else. Now, that's not an area of specialty for me. I know just enough to know what I don't know, and I have people I can refer you to. But a trust is something that people should consider, and you should consider it for tax reasons, not just legal reasons. So you want to consult with a tax preparer to find out, is a trust going to act as some type of a tax shelter that can help make sure that you're not going to be taxed in a different way than if you just have a will. And one thing you need to know is trusts do go through probate. Everybody thinks, or a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get a trust, it won't go through probate. Trusts go through probate, make no mistake about it. So why have a trust? Because there are tax reasons you want to have a trust, not necessarily legal reasons. What is an executor or an executrix? So an executor is a person who manages your affairs once you pass away. So you pass away, and some of you that I'm talking to might have been an executor for a loved one. Somebody passes away, or you pass away, who's going to make sure that those assets get to where they're going to? Who's going to make sure that your going concern, that your business is going to keep going and survive your death? Who's going to keep paying the employees? Who's going to keep paying the mortgage? Who's going to make sure that the business is going to continue to be run while you're going through the probate process? So that executor, if it's for a business, should be somebody who has some type of business acumen. They don't necessarily have to. They can hire an attorney or an accountant to handle it for them. But the more they're able to do on their own, the less expense you're going to have, and the more assured you're going to be that those assets are going to be handled in the right way. A power of attorney is a document that's very different than a will. So a will is what you need when you pass away. A power of attorney is while you're alive. I sign power of attorney to my wife. What does that mean? That means the minute that pen hits the paper, I have now delegated authority for my spouse to act as my agent, to act on my behalf, to sign paperwork, to buy real estate, to sell real estate, to deal with the car, assets while I'm alive. And a power of attorney is effective the minute you sign it. A power of attorney can be revoked. Other important details you want to take into account. Do you want to leave money to a charitable organization, your local library, your local animal shelter, some type of a favorite charity? What do you do with the will once I give it to you? So you come to my office, you sign the original documents. I keep a copy for 7 years. I give the originals to you. Make sure you keep them in a fireproof lockbox or some other safe place, and make sure that your loved ones know where those documents are. I can't tell you the number of times people have called me to say, can you give me Dad's will? And I'll tell them I don't have it. I don't keep original documents. They can't find it. If they can't find the will or the trust or any of those other documents, it's as if they never did it, and then the assets are going to pass by the laws of intestacy, which is exactly what your loved one didn't want to happen. So very important to make sure that you get the will done and store it in the correct place. So in closing, I just want to say that as a business owner, you have a certain responsibility, after working hard all those years to make sure that you have a profitable going concern, you have a responsibility to your loved ones, to your employees, and to yourself to make sure that your assets are transferred to the people that you want them transferred to. So in closing, I just want to say that thank you for your time. You want to get to an attorney who specializes in these areas. It may be me or it may be somebody that you know already, but one way or the other, make sure you get to somebody who can actually help you. Thank you so much.